थोड़ा लाइट खोलना है क्या?
Hello, check. Hello.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. A very good morning to everybody. I think almost it is 12, so I can say good afternoon to all. Good afternoon also. Training and Placement Cell, MANUU, Maulana Azad National University, in collaboration with Instructional Media Centre, we are going to organize this 2 days workshop on interview skills topic for UG and PG students. Basically, it is for final year students. And 1 day workshop for ITI Diploma in Elementary Education and Polytechnic students. That is scheduled on 12th. But unfortunately, because of absence of many final year students, we have invited first year, second year, UG, PG students also, because communication skills is essential for each and everybody. And the main purpose for conducting this workshop for our final year UG, PG students and for ITI Diploma, Elementary and Polytechnic students, the main purpose is to make them prepare for the final interviews, inshallah, which are scheduled in the month of March and April. We have the sessions today from 11:30, little bit delay today, 11:30 onwards, up to 12:30, 12:45. The topic is basic communication skills, wherein you are going to learn about the basics, errors which we come across while speaking English. So how to rectify those errors and how to be ready for the interviews. And also he will stress on learning speaking skills. And in the afternoon, we have a session of expert from CGC. He will be having a session on topic interview skills. That will be from 2:30 to 4 o'clock. Similarly, tomorrow from 11 o'clock, Professor M.A. Siddiqui, sir, Sami Siddiqui, Director CBDMT, he will be taking the session on how to prepare a resume. And the last session tomorrow will be of mock interviews, which will be taken by Dr. Tazeen Siddiqui from Aligarh Muslim University. She is an educational consultant, alumna of AMU, Director Mansha Vision India, along with our Department of English Assistant Professor, Ms. Samina Tabassum. They both will take this session tomorrow. Training and Placement Cell इस प्रोग्राम को इसलिए कंडक्ट कर रही है कि हम सब जो है जिस घराने से जिस माहौल से हम आए हैं, उस माहौल में हम इंग्लिश कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, इंग्लिश को जो है हम ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल नहीं किए, वरना हम और जो है कॉर्पोरेट स्कूल्स के में इंग्लिश ग्रामर, इंग्लिश लिटरेसी, सारी चीज़ें सेम है, मगर फ़र्क ये है कि हम उसको इस्तेमाल नहीं करें, इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं किए. इस वजह से हम जो है इसमें जो है बोलने में जो है हम जो है आगे पीछे होते हैं. We have difficulty in speaking with our colleagues in front of others. So ये कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स जो है आप अगर देखें कि दूसरे यूनिवर्सिटीज़ वगैरह में तो जो है बच्चे जो है अपने पॉकेट मनी से, अपने पैसों से जाके जो है इसको हासिल करने की कोशिश करते हैं. We are very thankful that we have with us the first speaker, Dr. Sher Muhammad Khan. He is the alumni of this university. He has done MA and MPhil from Maulana Azad National University under Gulfisha Habib Madam, Professor Gulfisha Habib Madam. And he has started his career as assistant professor in Mufakamja College of Engineering Technology, Osmania University. Yeah. And Professor Gulfisha Habib Madam and Professor Sayyid Hasibuddin Khadi sir. Under their guidance, he has done his MA and MPhil. And he has carried his education qualification, and he has completed his PhD from Osmania University, that is one of the leading university, in 2019. So he has more than 20 years experience. He is an extraordinary personality. I can tell you, in Mufakamja College of Engineering Technology, there are many professors. If you see their feedback, I think I can tell you, Dr. Sher Muhammad Khan gets highest number of excellent grades in the feedback. So Alhamdulillah, we are very thankful for him, for taking his time out and nurturing our budding students. लिहाजा मैं तमाम स्टूडेंट से जो है दरख्वास्त करता हूं कि ये सुनना नहीं है, सुनने के साथ अमल भी करना है. And this will not be like one way. He will not take class like a class. He will be taking some activities also. आपको अपने आप को इन्वॉल्व करना है, अपने आप को देखना है कि आप क्या क्या गलतियां करते हैं. उमूमन हम यूनिवर्सिटी में होने के बावजूद जो है हम जो है अपनी लैंग्वेज जो बाहर इस्तेमाल होती है, जहां पर पूरी दुनिया में इस्तेमाल होती, उसको ज्यादा इस्तेमाल नहीं करने की वजह से हमारे अंदर जो कमियां पेशियां हैं, इंशाल्लाह उसको जुड़ेंगे. ये प्रोग्राम ना के खाली आप लोगों के लिए है, तमाम ऑफ कैंपसेस. आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल टू इंस्ट्रक्शनल मीडिया सेंटर कि ये जो है लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग हो रही है. तमाम हमारे जो ऑफ कैंपसेस है ऑनलाइन, वो भी हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं. उन सब का मैं खैर मकदम करता हूँ, इस्तकबाल करता हूँ, और मैं तमाम से गुजारिश करता हूँ, उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आप गौर से तवज्जो के साथ सुनेंगे, इन्वॉल्व होंगे, एंड लेट हिम डू हिज बेस्ट. और ये इससे आप जितना फायदा उठा सके आप उठाना है. वंस अगेन आई इनवाइट डॉक्टर शेर मोहम्मद खान, assistant professor from Mufakamja College of Engineering, English Department.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Dr. Yusuf Khan Sahab, Janab Samir Siddiqui Sahab, for inviting me to this session on interview skills. I'm much delighted and happy to be here. I also would like to thank in the beginning itself all the participants, faculty members who have gathered here to make this program a success. Thank you very much. Can you please presentation on करें? My dear students, all of us, there is a recurring question. All of us, mostly students, as soon as they see us English teacher, they ask a question. Can you recall the question? In your English class, if you see a good teacher with good communication skills, who is good at teaching his skills, there one question occurs to your mind. What is it? I want you to interact, please. Let us make it two-way. I want you to make this session collaborative, interactive, a two-way session. Yes, please. What question occurs to your mind? Yes, please. Yes, very good, very good. So there is a recurring question in the sense that as soon as you see an English teacher, students ask a question, sir, how can I improve my communication skills? Or how can I improve my speaking skills? Am I right? Yes. So let us try to answer this question in this session. I will try my best to do so. Mastering communication for interview we usually much worried about improving our communication skills to answer or for interview success, let us say, to get through the interview and to get our dream job, to land onto our dream job. So in this session, I'll be covering all these aspects. First of all, we'll look at the importance of communication skills. What skills do we actually need in order to develop our communication skills? And also, I'll be discussing certain key tips for developing verbal communication, developing our body language, which is non-verbal communication, and how to enhance our active listening skills and develop our listening skills. And I'll also cover in my talk certain common mistakes or common errors that we make in speaking skills or in general while communicating with others. Okay. Okay, sir, can you scroll? Second. Yeah. Next, please. Yeah. Yes, please. What do you mean by communication? Can anyone here define communication, please, in your own words? As I said, let us make it participative. How do you define communication? Can anyone please? We talk much about communication skills. We wish to develop our communication skills and all that. Okay. Yes, you are right. It includes both verbal and non-verbal aspect. But what is it? How do you define communication? Anyone, please? At least from the definition or the given on the slide. Yes, please. Let audience have a mic, please.
Sir, interaction between two people.
Yes. Interaction. Anybody else? Interaction. Exchanging of information. Yes, please. Exchange of information. Sharing your thoughts. Very good. Sharing is a common word that we all know very well nowadays, especially sharing photos and all that. So sharing is central to communication. So when we communicate, actually it is the ability of an individual to communicate or to convey his and receive information, ideas, thoughts. Okay, we wish to convey our ideas, thoughts effectively with others. Is it not? In other words, simple words, we can say it's a way of reaching others with ideas, thoughts, and values. So why do we communicate? What is the core purpose? I'm communicating message to you. I'm talking to you. What do I expect in return? Yes, please. Feedback. Very good. So you can see the process over there. We communicate, we share our ideas, thoughts, and values with others so that we get a congruent or so that we get a favorable response from others. Okay, so there are two people involved in the process of communication. As you can see, the speaker and the receiver. The speaker sends the message or stimulus or the message, sends it over a channel to the receiver. Receiver receives it, decodes the message, and provides a feedback. This is the whole process of communication. Of course, there are also communication barriers. Can you name a few barriers, please? Anyone? What is a communication barrier? Yes. There are so many barriers. Very good. What do they do? What is a communication barrier? Can anyone please? You said cultural barrier, yes? How does culture become a barrier?
Like you are from North India.
Okay.
Someone from South India. So their language, some languages are in my states, different meaning. And in this, there are different. So this is the bigger barrier for communication.
Okay. Yes. So when you actually send a message, we use familiar in order to make the communication process success. The speaker should use simple and familiar language, is it not? Yes or no? The language should be common to both the sender and the receiver. All right. If the sender uses an unfamiliar language or any other language, the receiver may not be able to perceive it, may not be able to receive it, may not be able to decode it, and therefore he may not be able to provide favorable response. What do you say? For example, if I start speaking in Tamil, என்னப்பா நல்லா இருக்கிறீங்களா, என்ன சாப்பிட்டாச்சா, you may not make out anything because the language here is quite unfamiliar or not common. Are you following? So language, when unfamiliar language is used, it becomes actually, it is a barrier to communication. Barrier in the sense, the person whom you're speaking to may not be able to receive the message, decode the message, and therefore he may not be able to respond. Am I right? Yes. Now, coming to the importance of communication. What do you say? Is it not important to see communication skills? Of course, we are quite proficient in the use of mother tongue, of course. Okay. But what about English? In India, English is taught as second language, learnt and taught as second language. So, are we proficient? Are we comfortable in the use of language? Yes, please. So, if yes, how far? Can we face interviews very well, or can we answer interview questions? The most basic question that is asked in the interview, which is actually an icebreaker. To start the conversation, interviewers usually ask you a question. While they browse through your resume, you're in front, you're an interviewee, the other side of the table, you have interviewers. Okay, so the first question they ask you is, yes, my dear, tell me about yourself. The most recurring question. All right. So the first question that you expect from the interviewers is, tell me about yourselves. So coming to why communication skills are important, please change the slide. Yes, please. Let us talk about its importance, first of all, in our academics, right? I think it is very much important in academics, in our personal lives, as well as once you join a position, join a company, of course, and English is very much important. Of course, in most of the places in Hyderabad, in India, most of the MNCs, people speak English, combination of Telugu and one student asked me, sir, at the workplace, you're talking about the importance of English and all that. I don't think it is as important as you consider it to. Consider it to be. Whether I asked why. So he said people usually at workplaces speak in their own mother tongue. English, they speak in English. So half Telugu and half English. So why to worry about communication skills? So what do you say, my dear? Yes, is it really important for technocrats, engineers, professionals? Yes, what do you say? Is it important? Am I audible? I think I'm not heard. Am I audible? At least say yes, no, please. Otherwise, we have to turn off the ACs. Yes, my dear. What do you say? Important? Yes, it is important. So let us see how important it is. If not for the job interviews and all, its use, whether or not it is useful at a workplace, let us say it is very important. Let us all agree that it is very much important, at least to crack the interview. What do you say? Yes or no? Yes. It may not be very much useful at a workplace, as some people believe they can get by English and use any other language. Okay. So if you have good communication skills, or if you answer this question very well, tell us something about yourself. Yes, please. It is, I think, your first impression, is it not? Your first impression. So I would like to ask you a few questions on how to answer this question, a recurring question, or an icebreaker, How? Tell us something about yourself. Yes, please. How do you start? This is under the importance of communication. Of course, you answer this question very well. If you're a little organized, if you've worked on this question, anticipated this question several times and prepared an answer for this question, of course, you will be able to answer it very well. So employers, you see, they actually value candidates with good communication or with strong communication skills. Yes, my dear? Yes or no? Yes. And secondly, if you are good at communication, of course, it gives you immense confidence, be it in a personal matters or in personal interaction, as somebody said. Communication is all about interaction. It's all about sharing information. Okay. So in a personal setting, it gives you confidence, or in a workplace setting, okay, in a professional setting, it again gives you immense confidence, and you are able to strike a rapport with your colleagues and with your fellow students, if you are a teacher or if you're. Then clear communication also helps you articulate your qualification and how suitable you are for your position. So you can convince, if you have good communication skills, of course, you can convince the interviewers, okay, with your, can provide clear and concise answers. All right. So now, in order to develop communication skills, what is the stepping stone? We have now understood the importance of communication, how it is, why it is important both in personal and a professional setting. Now, shall we discuss how to improve? I started with a question: how to improve communication skills, or how to improve speaking skills. So, what do you suggest, my dear? Yes, please. What do you personally try? How do you personally try to improve your communication skills, or in simple words, your speaking skills? Yes, please, I'm asking you. Yes, please, would anyone like to respond? There might be, of course, several ways.
Remove the hesitation and speak more and more.
Speak?
More and more. Remove hesitation. Hesitation is very big barrier to communication.
Okay, so speak as often as possible. Speak
Yes.
again and again with your fellow classmates, teachers, inside and outside the classroom. Very good. Anybody else, please?
So,
Wali.
first listening, then more practice.
Yes, very good. Listening comes first. Wonderful answer. Yes, please. Anybody else? What do you mean by listening? What to listen? Hello, yes, my dear. Can you elaborate a little on what you said?
So listening is someone speaks, we have to listen carefully, then we have to give the answer.
Listen carefully to what?
So someone say you are telling something, sir,
Hmm.
right now. I'm listening carefully. What are you saying?
Okay.
Then I have to speak.
Thank you for listening so carefully. What's your name?
My name is MD Dilshad.
MD Dilshad.
Yeah.
Which year?
LLB first year.
Oh my God. So you're Vakil Saab. Please sit down. Arguing with a Vakil is quite dangerous. But jaiye, please. You are right, by the way, Mr. Dilshad. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much. See, how did all of us learn our mother tongue? Yes, please. Our native tongue is Urdu, is it not? So if I ask you, how did you learn your mother tongue? By listening to BBC, apps, lectures, grammar, Wren and Martin. What? Environment. Very good. Yes, please. He has already answered the question. So the story of language learning, the process of language learning begins with listening. You listen to your mother tongue, is it not? No other method works the best in this scenario. You're a newborn baby, you don't know any language. Translation method is not going to work. Are you following, my dear? Right? Because you don't know any language. So your mother teaches you your mother tongue directly. She knows that you don't know any language, yet she tries to communicate or talk with you in her mother tongue. Is it not? Baba kaise ho? Mera bacha, bete khana khao, pani piyo. She knows that the child doesn't know any language. Is it not? So listening is the first step towards language learning. Do you agree? Yes. So for how many years do you learn? Listen. Yes, my dear. If a child is adopted, Hyderabadi child, you know Hyderabadis? Yeah. Mereku, Tereku, Nakko, and How, and all that. So, if Hyderabadi child is adopted by, say, auntie lives in America. She doesn't have any children. She adopted one. Does the child turn out to be Hyderabadi? Will he say Nakko, Tereku, Mereku when aunt returns Hyderabad or visits Hyderabad? Yes, my dear. Or does he speak English? Depends upon. You mean? Okay. So who teaches mother tongue? I am saying newborn baby, adopted by American woman, American auntie. Huh?
So he will speak English, sir.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If mother happens to be Arab, she teaches her child to Arabic language. Kayf halukum, ta'al ya habibi, and all that. If she happens to be an American or English woman, she teaches English. Okay, if she happens to be Hyderabadi woman, so the child becomes a proud Hyderabadi, speaks Hyderabadi Urdu. Urdu में भी बहुत सारे dialects है नहीं? हाँ, तो वो region में it varies from the dialect or pronunciation varies from region to region, place to place. हैदराबाद की उर्दू तो माशाल्लाह आप लोग जानते हैं, है नहीं? एक साहब बता रहे थे कि बेफुजूल बातें मत करो, तो मैं बोला अच्छी बातें कर रहे फिर आप, यानी फुजूल बोलते हैं तो देखो बेफुजूल बता रहे थे, बेफुजूल बातें मत करो। बहुत अच्छी उर्दू है साहब। एक बच्चा मैं फार्मेसी में पढ़ाता था, रिजेम्बलेंस स्ट्रांग था, तो पूछा तुम्हारे भाई फार्मेसी में भी है ना? नहीं सर, आपको गलत फैमिली हो गई बोले। बोला अरे बाप रे, ये पहले मेरी उर्दू खराब है तो ये तो उर्दू का जनाजा हम लोग निकालते हैं, है नहीं? बेफुजूल पानी नहा रहे हैं बोले, अरे भाई खाली नहा रहे बोले तो काफी है कि दूध से भी नहाया जाता है, लेकिन हैदराबाद में जुमला जो है पानी नहा रहे हैं। अब्बू क्या कर, बोले पानी नहा रहे, तो दूध से भी नहाते हैं क्या? चलो ये चल गया हमारे पास, तो उर्दू भी हमारी बेहतरीन है नहीं? तो एक लखनऊ वाला एक मशहूर जोक है, ऐसे थोड़ा सा फन के लिए बता रहा हूँ। खान साहब बता रहे थे कि उर्दू में भी थोड़ा बोलो भाई, तो मैं उर्दू में ज्यादा कंफर्टेबल हूँ, मैं भी इंग्लिश सीख रहा हूँ। तो एक लखनऊ वाले साहब हैदराबाद आए, चार मीनार की तरफ गए, देखे कि बहुत सारा लाड़ बाजार है, बहुत सारे बीवी के लिए वो चूड़ियाँ वगैरह खरीदना था। लोग मिले, क्या साहब सुने होंगे आप भी, तो वो कहाँ है, ये कहाँ है, तो लोग मिले हैदराबादी, बोले हो ये चार मीनार है, हो लाड़ बाजार कहाँ है, इसके पीछे हो, लेफ्ट को मुड़े तो फिर दुकान आ रहे स्टूडियो के, हो सुनते हुए उनका दिमाग खराब हो गया। लखनऊ वाले साहब पहली बार आए थे हैदराबाद, तो उन्होंने जो है एक दूसरा आदमी मिला, जरा थोड़ा सा अच्छे कपड़े वपड़े टाई पहन के, तो उसको पूछे भाई साहब मुझे आपसे कुछ पूछना है, बात करना है। बोले क्या है? यहाँ सब लोग हाउ बोल रहे साहब, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि हाउ क्या है। अरे साहब वो सब अनपढ़ लोग हैं जिससे आप मिले, तो अच्छा आप पढ़े लिखे हैं? बोले जी हाउ। तो यहाँ तो ऐसा है भाई, पढ़े लिखे भी हो, है नहीं? तो लैंग्वेज का जो मसला है इट वेरीज फ्रॉम प्लेस टू प्लेस। दो लखनऊ वाले बेचारे लड़ रहे थे हमारे मोहल्ले में, तो एक कह रहा था अमा मियाँ हम आप तमाचा मार देंगे अब। मैं बोला इतने प्यार से मारेंगे तो लगेगा थोड़ी। अमा मियाँ ऐसा दिख रहा था कि जैसे दोनों अब आपस में एक दूसरे को बेचारे गले मिलने वाले। अमा मियाँ आपको तमाचा मार देंगे अब, सुभान अल्लाह। और अगर हमारी लड़ाई हो हैदराबाद की, तो the problem here is listening plays a role. What you listen, actually listening provides the input. Sub next. So in case of mother tongue, let's come back to the example of mother tongue approach to language learning. This is the best method and the natural method method of language learning. इससे हटके कोई method नहीं है नहीं? Translation method भी होगा, लेकिन this is the most effective one. डायरेक्ट मेथड. इसलिए उर्दू, हमारे जो हैदराबादी लोग हैं जिनके पास उर्दू, नॉट ओनली हैदराबाद, वेयर एवर इंग्लिश इज टॉट एज सेकंड लैंग्वेज, वहां पे यही मसला है. अवर मदर टंग कीप्स हैम्परिंग, एंड फर्स्ट यू ट्राई टू ट्रांसलेट इन योर लैंग्वेज एंड देन इन इंग्लिश. इसीलिए हम लोग कहते हैं वो ट्रांसलेशन जो है मेथड हमारे को हैम्पर, एक्चुअली इट बिकम्स अ बैरियर. पहले कुछ बोलना है तो इंग्लिश में सोचो, ग्रामर बनाओ, फिर बोलो. ये एक मसला है. उसका मसला ये है कि हम लोग ट्रांसलेट करने की, हम लोग उर्दू स्पीकर्स हैं, इसीलिए वी टेंड टू ट्रांसलेट एवरीथिंग इनटू आवर मदर टंग फर्स्ट एंड देन इनटू द टारगेट लैंग्वेज. तो उससे हमको बाहर आना है. डायरेक्ट मेथड से इंग्लिश सीखना है. जैसे अम्मी जान डायरेक्ट मेथड से हमको उर्दू सिखाए, है नहीं? तो लिसनिंग, अगर आपको इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग स्किल्स इंप्रूव करना है, तो द बेस्ट वे इज टू इंप्रूव योर लिसनिंग. लिसनिंग को इंप्रूव करना है. द मोर यू लिसन, द मोर यू स्पीक. द मोर यू स्पीक, द मोर फ्लुएंट यू बिकम एंड कॉन्फिडेंट यू बिकम. दैट इज द फॉर्मूला. लेकिन आप डायरेक्ट स्पीकिंग को इंप्रूव करना चाहेंगे, जैसा कि somebody said from the audience, speak more and more, very often, inside classroom, outside classroom. Actually, that is the second stage. LSRW. Can anyone tell me what is LSRW? Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The order is quite natural. That is how we pick up the skills. We learn all those language skills. You cannot bring listening to the first place, sorry, speaking. First you listen. Let us come back to the same example. The child listens to its mother tongue for 4 years maybe. Is it not? आप लोग समझ रहे हैं? मेरी इंग्लिश उतनी खास नहीं है, तो शायद 4 years तक बच्चा सब पढ़ता है, सुनता है. Is it not? And this listening gives a child comprehensible input. सर ऊपर जाइए थोड़ा सा. हाँ, देखिए, स्पीकिंग स्किल्स में listening gives you comprehensible input. Listening is input and speaking is output. If there is no input, how can there be output? Are you following? So if you want to learn or improve your speaking skills, you have to work on listening. Yes. So I always recommend my students to listen to a TED Talk or any BBC News or any English video, okay, at least for 20 to 25 minutes on daily basis. Spend your time. You have got this. ये magical wand है. क्या है? जादू की छड़ी. Magical wand. इसमें TED Talk है, इसमें anything है. Listen to basic communication skills, videos on basic English. There are so many. The क्या बोलना चाहिए? Internet is gold mine. And this is a magical wand. ठीक है? So BBC people use IELTS के लिए and for all other proficiency tests, there's lot of information available online. अब IELTS listening, IELTS test के practice, IELTS test listening के अगर आप मारेंगे, तो you will get so many exercises on listening, all free of cost. So my dear, what do you listen? What to listen? I'll suggest at the end of my session, I'll suggest what to listen and how. So the thing is, the input is, you get comprehensible input when you listen to somebody. Okay. And the output is speaking. Similarly, in written communication, if you wish to improve your writing skills, of course, Indians have good or commendable writing skills, is it not? From the day one, as Sir said, we are taught English through reading. Okay, English through textbooks, English through grammar, speaking skills in particular I'm talking about. So if you wish to improve your speaking skills, this is a wrong method that you read books, or that, of course, reading helps in writing, in building vocabulary, or it helps you understand the syntax, structure of a sentence, developing vocabulary, how sentences are made, okay, punctuation and all that. And of course, it will help you significantly improve your writing skills, but it cannot help you improve your speaking. Am I right? So in order to improve your speaking skills, as all of us desire, because if you are able to speak well, okay, you think you're quite successful. You can have an impact on your employers, on your fellow classmates, and you're successful. People usually, associate your speaking skills or English speaking abilities with success. All right. So to improve written communication, one needs to improve reading. Reading provides input, and writing is current chala gaya hai. Writing is output. Do you understand this? Yes, my dear. So whenever my students come to me, sir, kaisa karu, how to improve? So I say, listen to TED Talk. TED Talks aap sune hain? TED Talks. TEDx mein it is like, I personally watch TED Talks once in a day. Okay. How does it help? Can anybody tell me, please? You said yes, you watch. Who's that? Yes, my dear. What do you watch on TED Talk? TEDx. It's a platform from where people from all walks of life, scientists, professionals from all walks of life, they share their creative ideas or worth sharing ideas with others. It's the platform where they share their ideas with people. Yes, please. What do you listen? Or you just know TED Talk? आप कोई सुने हैं इसमें से? TED Talk में से कोई वीडियो सुने हैं आप लोग? अरे बोलिए ना प्लीज. नहीं सुने हैं. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप एक वीडियो TED Talk पे लगाते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपका क्या है, आप why I am saying कि it is like killing two birds with single stone. I might say 3 birds with single stone. कैसा? आप एक सर्च में जाइए TED Talk पे, आपकी जो फील्ड है, आप फॉर एग्जाम्पल मार्केटिंग के बंदे हैं या फाइनेंस के या लॉ के हमारे साथी चले गए शायद, कोई बात नहीं जी. तो वहां पे आप टाइप करिए कि उसके सर्च फील्ड में जो विद कीवर्ड्स जो आप it will fetch you number of talks. You select one, listen to it. Usually they are very short बोलतो a duration of 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. So what happens? You get the knowledge of the domain on one hand. You get to know that the advancements or the innovations that are taking place in the very field of your interest. And on the other hand, come on, what happened? On the other hand, one hand knowledge, of course, knowledge of the domain, knowledge of your field. On the other hand, language skills. You get to hear or listen to very good language. Sometimes native speakers, sometimes Indian speakers, good Indian speakers, non-native speakers, native speakers, various varieties of English, Britishers, sometimes, American English, sometimes British English, Australian speakers. So you get an opportunity to listen to varieties of English, one hand. Pronunciation, of course, when you're talking about speaking skills, you have to be very careful about pronunciation. Are you following? Yeah. Pronunciation and stress, they go hand in hand. So when you listen, it's quite difficult for you. Is it not very difficult? When we were students, we were doing our MPhil and MA, we did not have this. Okay. We had, now आपके पास digital dictionaries है. Whenever you come across a new word, all you need to do is type it, and the Google gives you everything. Is it not? अरे बोलिए ना. Yes. अब एक word है, for example, GENERE. Right? You might know it. GENERE. अब मुझे इसका पता नहीं है कि how this word is pronounced. मैंने reading में, is it not? So what is developing vocabulary I am talking about? अच्छा, let us see one by one. Sir, can you? Yes. So as we were discussing, the effective communication begins with listening. The story starts with listening, is it not? So I said the more you listen, the more confident you become. And when you come across difficult words, you don't have to carry a hefty, huge dictionary like how we used to do. आपको मालूम है फिर पॉकेट डिक्शनरीज आए, लेकिन even those dictionaries have been done away with. Now we have phone dictionaries in phone, digital dictionary. Just type the word GENERE, for example. You get the definition, and also, do you see the speaker icon? Then you can type, please, in your phone. Can you type GENERE in your phone and see what prompt you get? To get the meaning, get to know the meaning, and also the pronunciation, how that particular word is pronounced. And you can have, thanks to science and technology, you can hear the pronunciation, how the word is pronounced, as many times as you want. Just press the speaker icon, it gives you the sound. GENERE, genre, 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 genre. Okay, you can have technology pronounce this word for you as many times as you want. This option wasn't available when we were studying, right? We used to see dictionaries and upside down symbols, phonetics. Are you aware of phonetics? Have you come across those? My God, very difficult to make out. There are 44 phonemic sounds. Dictionary खोल के फिर sound, you have to be familiar with those sounds in order to make out the sound, figure out the pronunciation, is it not? Very difficult. So nowadays, just press the speaker icon, and the technology with the software will pronounce the word for you as many times as you want. Is it not? Okay, so and secondly, pronunciation, you see, yes, there are several other resources on free online. So this dictionary is one thing where you can listen to pronunciation of individual words. If you wish to listen to a word in a lecture or in a real life situation, okay. So if you just learn, for example, a word, if you look at your concern is only the meaning, okay. Indians, are usually bothered about the meaning. We don't actually go for the pronunciation, as Sir said. We are least bothered about our speaking skills. क्योंकि इंडिया में जैसा भी बोलो, जो भी बोलो, चलता, is it not? Okay, so कोई problem की बात नहीं है. That's why we don't want to improve our speaking skills. Okay, so अब isolation में अगर आप, if you wish to learn a word, for example, I said GENERE, आप meaning देख लिए. Okay, how this word is used, you don't know yet how to use this word in a particular context, where to use it. Now you know the pronunciation only and the meaning. GENERE का meaning क्या है साहब? Yes, please. जी?
सामान्य.
हाँ जी? GENERE.
सामान्य आ रहा है.
सामान्य?
Yes sir.
अच्छा जी, वो हिंदी तो मुझे आती नहीं है साहब. सामान्य.
Common sir, common.
साधारण. कॉमा. कॉमन. अच्छा जी, इसका मतलब कॉमन होता है. हाँ, टाइप होता है, टाइप, किस्म. किस्म होता है। ओके, मूवी जॉनरा क्या होता है? मूवी के बहुत सारे टाइप्स हैं, है नहीं? एक है, क्या है भाई? एक्शन है, साइंस फिक्शन है, हॉरर है, सब मूवी जॉनरा है, टाइप्स है। तो आपको मीनिंग भी मालूम हो गया और प्रोनाउंसिएशन भी मालूम हो। हैदराबादी उर्दू सुनेंगे तो हैदराबादी उर्दू बोलेंगे, लखनऊ की उर्दू सुनेंगे तो लखनवी उर्दू बोलेंगे, सीधी सीधी बात है। तो जो मदर टंग इन्फ्लुएंस है हमारा, और एक जो बैरियर है जो हमको इंग्लिश सीखने से जो हम शर्माते हैं, उसका मसला ये है मदर टंग इन्फ्लुएंस। जैसे कि मैंने कहा हमारी जबान उर्दू है, इट कीप्स हैम्परिंग। जैसे आप उर्दू बात करेंगे तो इंग्लिश बात की तो उर्दू के अंदाज से बात करेंगे, और सेंटेंस भी तो बनाएंगे तो पहले इंग्लिश में उर्दू में समझेंगे फिर बाद में बनाएंगे। एक अंग्रेज था बेचारा, वो हैदराबाद आया तो एक दूध की दुकान पे गया। दूध की दुकान पे तो उसने देखा कि भाई वहां पे एक कंटेनर में दूध है और एक कंटेनर में दही है। तो he was little curious, so out of his curiosity he asked the shopkeeper, what is this? The shopkeeper replies, milk, sir, very confidently, because he knows what it is. In the other containers there was dahi. So then he asks again the shopkeeper, what is this? This gentleman shopkeeper doesn't know what is dahi called in English. So he simply scratches his head for a while and works out a strategy. Says, sir, this is milk, sir. Sleeping in the night, morning in the tight. Why is he replying? Simply he could have said it is curd, sir, yogurt, sir, what is it, sir? Lekin, since he doesn't know what it is called, he is trying to explain the process of fermentation. How milk turns into curd overnight. So he's trying to explain. So that's what we do, isn't it? Of course, you don't do. That's why we often say, नमाज पढ़ लिए क्या? बोले तो, did you read नमाज बोलते हैं अपन लोग। इसमें कोई बुरी बात नहीं है, we can उर्दू speakers. We try to translate everything. नमाज पढ़ लिए तो we say, did you read नमाज? Okay. हम लोग ताला खोलते हैं, did you open the lock? है नहीं। गीटी खोलते हैं हम लोग, तो did you open the knot? तो ये सब ट्रांसलेशन का मसला है, ट्रांसलेशन की गड़बड़ है. इसीलिए इफ यू लिसन, improve listening and listen to how English is spoken by native speakers or by good Indian speakers, it will really help you improve your speaking skills. Not only speaking skills, your pronunciation, your accent, your intonation, rhythm, stress, everything you will improve without having to learn through books or without breaking your head, leafing through phonetics or books on phonetics and all that. Easy है, thanks to science and technology. So I request all of you to make use of the online resources, free resources that are available for all of us. Okay? So nowadays you don't have to learn phonetics, upside down looking symbols, isn't it? Vowels, consonants, diphthongs. Are you familiar with all that, my dear? आप लोगों को पढ़ाते होंगे फर्स्ट ईयर में phonetics. Yes, my dear? Yes. So the shortcut, I'm giving you a shortcut. So teachers might say, अरे आप ये क्या कर रहे हैं? लेकिन practically speaking, वो जरा थोड़ा सा difficult है. तो the best thing is to, अब देखिए simply, आपको उर्दू में मम्मी आपको सिंबल्स से प्रोनाउंसिएशन नहीं सिखाती. सिखाती क्या? बेटे ये अंडा है तो पहले आ बोलो, आ फिर डा बोलो. नहीं, you pick up language by listening. बस वही प्रोसीजर है, वही मेथड है. सिर्फ English has become a global language. The language of internet is English. Okay. अब इंटरव्यू जाएंगे, ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज ऑफ इंडिया इज इंग्लिश. You need to, when you face an interview, you need to, of course, answer questions in English. When you write emails, of course, you have to draft letters, emails in English. Okay. So say it has become indispensable. You actually cannot get rid of it wherever you go. Am I right? तो इसके लिए, these are certain tips. Actually, I wanted to show you something, but ended up saying something else. Anyway, I apologize for that. Sir, please इसको थोड़ा सा करिए. So interview में, so as I said, कि listening helps you improve your speaking skills. Am I right? Also helps you improve pronunciation. You can easily overcome your mother tongue influence. अब mother tongue influence क्या है? Can anybody please tell me what it is? Mother tongue influence, which is usually abbreviated as MTI. MTI कहते हैं उसको, MTI, मदर टंग इन्फ्लुएंस. व्हाट इज इट? ये प्रॉब्लम नेटिव स्पीकर्स का है. हाँ, अपनी मदर टंग का एक इन्फ्लुएंस होता है, ठीक है, ओवर द टारगेट लैंग्वेज. आपकी टारगेट लैंग्वेज है इंग्लिश, आप इंग्लिश लर्न कर रहे हैं, लेकिन चूंकि आप उर्दू बैकग्राउंड से है तो आपकी मदर टंग का इन्फ्लुएंस उसमें आता है. असर जिसे कहते हैं, असर. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल उर्दू स्पीकर्स का असर होता है स्कूल. आई एम गोइंग टू स्कूल. गिलास. एंड व्हेन इज योर क्लास? वी से लाइक दैट. और तेलुगु में जा नहीं है, देयर इज नो जेड इन तेलुगु. सो जैसे जीरो, दे रिप्लेस ऑल जेड्स विद जा एंड से जहीर कहाँ है? दे डोंट से जहीर. और देन अरबिक देयर इज नो पा. So all Arabs say they use the equivalent, which is equivalent to pa is ba. So they call Pepsi a Pepsi. Bring me a Pepsi, please. Are you going to see doctor today? Are you seeing doctor today? Yes, I am seeing doctor today. They don't have ta and da, so they replace the take the nearest, sound that is quite near to. All right, so this is mother tongue influence. इसको भी आप overcome करना है. So the best method is, what is it? अरे कुछ बोल रहे नहीं जी. How to improve speaking? Listening. Can you also improve pronunciation by listening? Yes, no? Yes. And what stress also, listening में आपका pronunciation में stress, everything you can of course. And as somebody said, next language skill is speaking. Next comes in the hierarchy is speaking. If you become proficient in listening, since you have got enough input, now you can easily have output, which is speaking. Without input, how can you have output? Are you following, my dear? Yes. So the more you listen, the more you speak. Okay, that is the whole thing. And while speaking, there are two dimensions of speaking. Speaking में दो dimensions है. एक है accuracy, एक है fluency. Accuracy, what is accuracy? Making fewer mistakes. Very less mistakes. Of course, when you speak, you need to be careful about two dimensions. Speaking में ऐसा नहीं है कि जो चाहे बोलो. Of course, while learning in the initial stage, of course, you shouldn't don't worry about grammatical errors. इसको free आप बोलते रहे, लेकिन अपने mistakes जो है, errors जो है speaking में, इसको आपको rectify करना पड़ेगा simultaneously. Like क्या है? First of all, accuracy. Accuracy matlab your sentences must be grammatically accurate, grammatically correct. I don't know Telugu. He don't know Telugu. नहीं बोल सकते आप. I don't know. He doesn't know. I don't know. He doesn't know. Okay. I haven't paid the fee. I haven't paid the fee. She hasn't paid the fee. तो grammatically और prepositions, grammar और बहुत सारी चीजें हैं कि आपका sentence must be grammatically correct. Next comes the next dimension in speaking skills is fluency. What is fluency? Fluency मतलब ये है कि you speak the language with a natural flow, with natural pauses, with no fillers. Filler matlab, okay, to buy time. When you don't get a verb to buy time, we say, we see, I see, So these are actually, these are fillers that we use or to buy time. Buy time in the sense, meanwhile you think of suitable word to complete your sentence. Okay, so fluency comes with years of practice, my dear. As somebody said from the audience, you have to speak, and speak. Speaking comes through speaking. Okay, somebody said, oh, I'm not very fluent in English, so I don't speak. My dear, how can you improve your speaking? इज देयर एनी पिल, दवा है, गोली है, खाते स्पीकिंग आ गई? क्या भाई स्पीकिंग कम्स थ्रू? अरे बोलिए ना। स्पीकिंग प्रैक्टिस क्या है? ये नया लफ्ज सुनने में आ रहा है जी। स्पीकिंग कम्स थ्रू स्पीकिंग। तो बच्चा 4 years तक ही लिसन्स टू द लैंग्वेज being spoken by his mother, siblings and all that environment. अगर 3-4 भाइयां हैं और ये भाई छोटा है, तो believe me, he picks up language very quickly. Is it not? और घर का बड़ा बच्चा है तो उसको 4 साल लगेंगे। ये स्टडीज प्रूफ किए हैं। बड़ा बच्चा है तो वो स्लो लैंग्वेज सीखेगा। क्यों भाई? खान साहब वो चाय वगैरह पिलाना पड़ेगा ऑडियंस को, है जी। और छोटा बच्चा है, बड़े भाई 4 हैं, ये 5वां है तो बहुत, हाँ, बिकॉज listening, interaction, he has got a comprehensible input. Now at the age of 4, a child begins to utter. Speak nahi, abhi speaking nahi. At the age of 4, the child begins to utter certain meaningless sounds. Amma, baba, pani, mama. हम लोग खुश हो जा रहे हैं, बाप अच्छा बहुत बात करने लग गया। अभी कहाँ बात करेंगे, अभी थोड़े दिन और जाना। At the age of 5, 6 or 10, not 7, he slowly picks up the language and becomes proficient in speaking. Am I right? अरे बोलिए ना। Yes, slowly, it comes slowly. हाँ, उसके बाद at the age of most Urdu speakers you see, how many of you, of course मैं तो उर्दू यूनिवर्सिटी में हूँ, हमारे बच्चों से मैं सवाल करता हूँ कि how many of you read and write Urdu? Believe me, no hand shots up. अब यहाँ पे मैं पूछूंगा तो of course तो क्राइटेरिया ही है। How many of you read and write Urdu? अरे यहाँ पे भी एक ही हाथ उठा। How amazing. क्वेश्चन नहीं समझे शायद ये लोग। How many of you read and write Urdu? अरे भाई उसके बगैर तो एडमिशन नहीं है। Am I right खान साहब? हो जा रहे आजकल। अच्छा जी। तो why do you think being a Urdu speaker you are unable to read and write? What could be the possible reason? Why couldn't you pick up reading and writing? These are academic skills. इसको बोलते हैं लिटरेरी स्किल्स, लिखना पढ़ना। ये दो तो अमिट सिखा देंगे। कौन से? अरे बोल रहे नहीं बच्चे। लिसनिंग स्पीकिंग तो अम्मी जान सिखा देंगे फ्री में, राइट? और 5 साल के बाद आपको स्कूल भेजा जाता है एट द एज ऑफ 5, where you pick up the remaining 2 skills, reading and writing. और वहां पर भी अगर आप उर्दू सब्जेक्ट लिए हैं तभी सीख पाएंगे, वरना नहीं। इसीलिए बहुत सारे हैदराबाद में स्कूल्स दे हैव डन अवे विद उर्दू। डू यू नो दैट? जाके मैं पूछा बच्चे को, हम उर्दू नहीं पढ़े, तो मैंने बच्चे को उर्दू पढ़ाना चाहता था, तो मैं वहां गया टीचर से। Believe me, out of 100 schools I visited, only 2 schools are offering Urdu as second language. Urdu language is on the, क्या बोलना चाहिए, is dying. पेरेंट्स भी चाहते हैं कि बच्चा इंग्लिश पढ़े, तो 2 स्कूल्स में सेकंड लैंग्वेज उर्दू मिले। तो दैट इज द रीजन। ओके, अगर आपको जो ये लिटरेरी स्किल्स है, कौन से लिटरेरी स्किल्स हैं? रीडिंग एंड राइटिंग। दीज स्किल्स आर एक्वायर्ड वेयर यू, एकेडमिक स्किल्स है ये, ठीक है। दीज स्किल्स आर एक्वायर्ड एट अ स्कूल। स्कूल में अगर आप उर्दू पढ़े हैं, लिखे हैं, तो देन ओनली यू विल बी एबल टू रीड एंड राइट, अदरवाइज नॉट। इसको लिटरेरी स्किल्स बोलते हैं। इसीलिए जब रिश्ता होता है तो माँ बाप पूछे बच्चा पढ़ा लिखा है क्या? क्यों भाई? इसका मतलब क्या है? फॉर्मल एजुकेशन है नहीं है। ये नहीं पूछते बच्चा सुनना और बोलना जानता है क्या। अरे समझ रहे आप लोग? वो तो फ्री में मिला, इनको मालूम है तो फ्री में मिल गई। ओके, सो accuracy is speaking correctly with proper grammar, vocabulary and pronunciation, whereas fluency is speaking at a natural pace. बोले तो नेचुरल तरीके से, नेचुरल फ्लो से, should be spontaneous and natural with appropriate pauses and intonation. मतलब जहां आपको आवाज ऊंची करना है, जहां गिरानी है। नेचुरल पॉजेस से ग्रामेटिकली भी करेक्ट हो और नेचुरल फ्लो भी हो. इसके लिए इट कम्स विद लॉट्स ऑफ प्रैक्टिस. इसलिए somebody rightly said here कि आपको प्रैक्टिस करना है. प्रैक्टिस क्या करना है? See, I'll tell you. अब उसके बाद रीडिंग राइटिंग है. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू टच ऑन रीडिंग एंड राइटिंग बिकॉज इट इज ऑलरेडी 12:43. ठीक है, आई विल जस्ट एडमिनिस्टर अ क्विज नाउ. एक क्विज करेंगे, उसके बाद विल वाइंड अप. एक छोटा सा बिफोर दैट आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड वन थिंग. Importance of yes. So when you read extensively, reading को हम, of course we cannot ignore. It is an important part of communication. In order to improve vocabulary, see, vocabulary building is also very much important. What do you mean by vocabulary? How do we define vocab? We sometimes say that his vocabulary is commendable. He has got a good vocabulary. So what do you mean by vocab? Yes, my dear. थोड़ा ऑडियंस बोलते रहिए प्लीज.
Sir, number of words you can memorize or you know the meaning of number of words.
Very nice, wonderful answer. Stock of one's words. Stock of one's stock of words. All of us have bank account, isn't it? नहीं है आपके पास? अच्छा. You have bank account and you also got money. Your amount, what you have is maybe 10,000. I have 5,000. Somebody has 2,000. So it differs from person to person, isn't it? But the more the better, is it not? Huh. So similarly, vocabulary means one's stock of words. How many words you know? It is only knowing the meaning. What do you mean by vocabulary? See, when you consult look up a word in a dictionary, our concern is only the meaning. We hardly bother about how that word is pronounced. So we have talked about pronunciation as well. It is an important aspect. Abhi hai how to internalize that word, how to use that word in your written as well as spoken communication. How? By adding this word into your active vocabulary. That means there are two types of vocabulary. One is passive, the other is active. What is active vocabulary? Can anyone please? Yeah. Yes, please. Active vocabulary means आपका stock. What is vocabulary? Stock of words. Yes. किसी के पास you know 2,000 English words, you know 5,000, he knows 7,000, he knows 10,000 words. Okay, stock. How much stock of words you have? So is it only the stock number of words that matter or anything else? See, active vocabulary has words like words that you use comfortably. That means you know all of his aspects, like you know its grammatical characteristic, whether the word is noun, pronoun, what. You know the meaning, you know how to pronounce, you know the context. So when you know all these aspects of a word, it's a noun, pronoun, whatever. Okay, different forms. Okay, its grammatical characteristic, meaning, pronunciation, and context, usage. If you know all that, you can comfortably use that word in your day-to-day communication. Am I right? Yes. Certain other words, remain in your passive vocabulary because you don't know either the pronunciation, as I said. You have heard that word. You know the spelling G-E-N-E-R-E. Genre. You might mispronounce it. This word, genre, for example, because you don't know how to pronounce. Okay, you don't know how to use it, in a particular context, and therefore you may not use it in your written communication. So isme kya hota? Such words remain in your passive vocabulary. You don't use them. Okay, so by learning its pronunciation, आपके एक word है, दो चीजें छूट गए आपके, pronunciation छूट गया या meaning छूट गया या context छूट गया. By learning those missing things, you can pull that word out from passive vocabulary into your active vocabulary. Got it? समझ गए? So vocabulary development is quite important. And Khan Sahab, shall we administer the quiz? Now I would like to before I would like to administer a quiz. एक छोटा सा quiz है. I want all of you to take this quiz. It is all about the basic, the icebreaker. That is how tell us something about yourself. The most basic question that we usually face in an interview. So I want you to answer that question. Okay, follow the strategy. First of all, you should say who you are, what you have done. So how do you answer this question? I am so and so. People usually say my name is, or this is. Why this is or myself? Don't use myself, even though I mean it may be right or wrong, I don't know. So when you say this is or myself is not a good way of starting a conversation. You should rather say even this is or my name is isn't, I think, very. So instead you should say what? Keep quiet, better not to say anything. Huh? I am. Say I am. I am Rehan. I have completed my. Then people say, I passed out. I passed out from Usman University. My God. Passed out बोले तो something different. Passed away बोले तो पूरे कुछ चले गए. So why don't you say I completed my graduation from MANUU, like how I did. I completed my PG from Maulana Azad National University in the year 2006. बोलिए, या फिर I graduated बोलिए, लेकिन I passed out मत बोलिए please. Similarly, don't emphasize on your personal skills, personal matters. उन्हें पूछा आपको tell us something about yourself, बोले तो आपका नाम बोलिए, who you are, what you have done. क्या करें आप? So you focus on your qualification, your experience, your expertise, your professional skills, your achievements. Don't emphasize on personal matters. You know, जैसे मिसाल के तौर पे I used to play football and then I won a match. अब वो लंबी स्टोरी चली. No, not required. Okay, so you will have such questions in your quiz. I want all of you to take a quiz, okay, for a while, and then we'll have an assessment of your quiz. Thank you very much. हाँ हो जाने दीजिए.
खाली मैं बोलता हूँ ऐसी दोपहर में सेशन, दोपहर का सेशन 2:30 पर
बैठो माता में.
नहीं बैठे आराम से. देखिए कितना यूजफुल सेशन है. आपका एक सेशन और है, दैट इज ऑन 12th, इसी हॉल में 12th के दिन 11 बजे है. उसमें भी आप लोग तशरीफ ला सकते हैं. वो ITI डिप्लोमा स्टूडेंट्स और डिप्लोमा एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन के लिए है. ऐसे सेशन से हम वाकई हम नॉलेज गेन कर सकते हैं, हम क्या बोलना है क्या नहीं बोलना है कम्युनिकेशंस में. बहुत यूजफुल, बहुत इफेक्टिव सेशन है. दोपहर में एक सेशन है. आप तमाम से जो है गुजारिश है कि दोपहर में भी इसी तरह हमसे जुड़े रहें, यहाँ पर आए. दोपहर में 2:30 को यहाँ पर सेशन स्टार्ट होगा, 2:30 इंशाल्लाह. तो डोंट मिस द आफ्टरनून सेशन. इट विल बी ऑन इंटरव्यू स्किल्स बाय CGC एक्सपर्ट मिस्टर मुबशिर अहमद. लास्ट टाइम ऑल्सो ही हैज बीन विद अस. बहुत अच्छा उन्होंने जो है इंटरव्यू स्किल्स पे बताया था कि हमारे अंदर जो है कोई इंफीरियरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं रहना. हम चाहे उर्दू मीडियम के हो, चाहे हम कहीं से भी हो, अपने आप को कैसा हम इंटरव्यू फेस करना. वेरी एक्सेलेंट सेशन रहेगा 2:30 बजे, 2:30, 2:30 बजे इंशाल्लाह. अभी ये जो क्विज चल रहा है, ये क्विज के बाद इंशाल्लाह हम वाइंड अप करेंगे. दोपहर का सेशन 2:30 का होगा. अभी ये चल रहा है क्विज. शेर खान साहब, प्रोफेसर शेर मोहम्मद खान, नहीं अभी चल रहा है, इंटरनेट नहीं है तो इन लोग को तो सेशन का बोल दिया अपन, उसमें चलेगा नहीं लाइव स्ट्रीम में, तो ये लोग कंटिन्यू कर ले सकते हैं. हाँ बोल दिया, चलेगा ना, फिर से बोलना है क्या? जी. Inshallah, next session it will be around 2:30 p.m. today. अगला सेशन हमारा जो है इंटरव्यू स्किल्स पे बाय CGC कैरियर गाइडेंस सेल के जो एक्सपर्ट इससे पहले भी आए थे मिस्टर मुबशिर अहमद 2:30 को हमारे साथ जुड़े रहिए ऑफ कैंपस ऑन कैंपस के और ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन रहेगा 2:30 इसी हॉल में आ जाइए आप लोग भी अभी ये सेशन जो है यहाँ पर ख़त्म कर रहे हैं हम ऑफ कैंपस वालों के लिए ऑनलाइन वालों के लिए थैंक यू मैं शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ जनाब डॉक्टर शेर मोहम्मद खान साहब असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट मुफक्कमजा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग उस्मानिया यूनिवर्सिटी हैदराबाद थैंक यू आप लोग जुड़े रहिए 10 मिनट्स में ये क्विज सेशन अपने 10-15 मिनट्स वाइंड अप करेंगे हाँ मुझे सर रवि को यहाँ बुला लेंगे